Saturday evening, everyone. I'm going to go over the winter outlook here, video wise, and show you some more supporting factors going into our forecast as well. And we will review the forecast, our forecast that we actually was out to the supporters back in August, early August, that is. We haven't really changed anything much. So if you are on YouTube, please click that thumbs up, that like button, and please subscribe. It's free over on YouTube to get short range content. If you're over on Facebook, click that like button, show comment where you're from. We'd love to hear from you. So let's get into the details here of our winter forecast. As we have some more supporting models out there that are going right with what we think winter is going to be like this year. So let's get right into it. I don't know about you all, but I am ready to start using this graphic again. It seems like it's been so long since we had a live stream going over possibly a significant winter weather event, stuff like that. I'm just getting excited that the season is coming where we can start using this graphic again. And I just love all the snow that's falling. And hopefully we can get snow to all the snow lovers out there that have kind of missed out over the past couple years. All right, so let's get into the winter forecast here and the supporting models, the latest supporting models, just showing more confidence in our forecast. This is the latest SSTA forecast as well, which is looking almost exactly like our forecast that we put out in August. So this is the November through March temperature anomalies. And you can see all this below average down here through the south, southeast, up to the northeast, and a lot of warmth out here towards the west, which is indicative of a positive PNA, which would mean basically, if I can get my draw tool here, basically a high pressure, basically just parked up over here. So up and over, here comes the cold air, and then we're going to have a jet stream basically cutting in like this across the south. So this is basically what this means, and this is why this model is showing this, and this is almost exactly what our winter forecast is looking like as well. So as we look into El Nino, which we've been talking about this going into El Nino probably for over a year now, for this coming winter, which means it's warmer than normal equatorial Pacific waters. Okay, so if you're in an El Nino, this is a typical pattern. Basically, you get a split pattern. So you get a jet cut underneath, you have a jet coming up, this polar jet stream coming down, usually across the far northeastern parts of the United States. This is a typical El Nino, but I'm going to show you why this is not going to be a typical El Nino this year. Now, when we're in a La Nina, which means cooler than normal Pacific waters near the equator, and which we had the past 3 years, 3 to 4 years even, and this is what we get across. You get that southeastern ridge that everybody hates that fights back this cold air, and basically you're in a snow drought. Any winter weather is hard to get down towards the southeast in a La Nina pattern. El Nino, you have subtropical jet coming in, stays a lot wetter, a lot cooler across most of the south for a typical El Nino. Now, we expect it to go to a Modoki El Nino, and I'm going to show you the difference here in just a second. All right, so hopefully you all can see this. I got it really zoomed in here. So this is a typical El Nino. So basically, this is a South American coast down here. The black line is the equator. This is in the Pacific Ocean, of course. And back here is, towards the, basically, we call it the Indo-Pacific. Back here towards, basically back here towards the Philippines and Indonesia, stuff like that. We call it Indo-Pacific. So we have a lot strong westerlies out here towards like I said, the Philippines, pushing all this hot, this warm, you know, over or above average ocean temperatures around the equator in the Pacific. So basically, you have these zones, which we call like the 1-2 zone is basically back here towards South American coast, just off the coast here. And then the Central Pacific towards the equator, we call it like a 3-4 zone. So lot so in a typical El Nino, warmer, a lot warmer than average, right along the coast of South America, out towards right around the Central Pacific, and then getting colder as you get towards the Philippines. As you get into an El Nino Modoki, um, which is a lot different. So you have the South American coast here. The waters start to cool right off the coast of South America. You have a little bit cooler waters over here towards the Philippines, and then basically the 3-4 zone or the Central Pacific, right on the equator. Bam! It's just warmer than normal. Okay, that's the difference between an El Nino and an El Nino Modoki. So this is why I think we're going to go to a Modoki El Nino. I'm going to show you the supporting factors here. All right, here is a little bit better depiction of what I'm talking about. Like I said, South America here. This is for a Modoki El Nino. Starting to cool down right off the coast of South America here. Warmer than normal right around the equator here. The Central Pacific. And then you get towards the Indonesia and stuff like that out here. It's a little bit cooler than average. Okay, so this is where I think we're going. Now, let me show you the supporting factors that we have. Now, we don't have the SSTA forecast from October yet. This is September, okay? So, you see all these really warm colors across the Central Pacific here. All this these very warm colors, the yellows, and then start getting the oranges here. That's really like the bullseye. So all this warmth was back here as well, and it's starting to cool down along the South American coast, and it's going to Central, all that warmth, ocean warmth is going towards the Central Pacific. Now you can see over here towards Indonesia and stuff, average to a little bit below average sea surface temperatures. So more modeling showing this is going to be shifting to a Modoki El Nino. And you're probably wondering, well, what the heck is going to happen when we have a Modoki El Nino? And I will show you that. All right, here's another example of what a Modoki is, so I can kind of draw it here. So warmer than normal here across Central Pacific. You see cooler off the South American coast here. Basically ridging up here towards warmer than normal up here towards just off the coast of Alaska here. This is off the southern coast of Alaska here, which would mean you would go to a positive PDO, which we've been a negative for a while, and it's really ramping up towards positive here. And I went over that in the supporter hub earlier today. So what that means is there's going to be more Arctic intrusions coming down like that, and then these warmer waters here are going to feed that subtropical jet coming up through here, so through up to the southern parts of the United States. Sorry about the illustration here. It's kind of wonky, but you get what I'm saying here. So that's why I think we could have a very active subtropical jet. We're going to have Arctic intrusions from time to time, and I think December has always been a little bit of a question mark for me, whether it's going to be a December to remember, or is it going to be a little bit warmer before I think the last half of winter really just erupts with this winter type pattern coming in. But it's already showing its cards across the Pacific and it's trying to get in line to what we're thinking. Alrighty, so here is our official forecast. This was released to our supporters and supporters on Facebook, and then our members only on YouTube. So this is November 2023 to March 2024 temperature anomalies, basically. So the dark blue, basically from right around Memphis and northern parts of Mississippi, Alabama, most of Tennessee, through southeastern parts of Kentucky, all the way up through the mid-Atlantic. I think you're going to be at about 2.5 degrees below normal during that time period. That's November, December, March, or sorry, November, December, January, February, March. Those 5 months, basically. If you put all the normals together, or all the temperatures together, I do believe, which is pretty significant, minus 2.5 degrees, or 2.5 degrees below normal for those regions. And I think you're going to be that way out here towards the west as well. There's been a little bit more question marks of how deep this cold air could be across the west, but I'm just going to leave it as is for now. So the light blue below normal, I think, temperatures from November to March. At least at least 1 degree below normal across most of the South up into the northeastern parts of the United States. Now, if you do not see a color where you live, basically from Northern California all the way basically north of I-70, I think you're going to be right around normal, or just a tiny bit above normal here. And then as you get towards the northern tier of states, basically from the Pacific Northwest all the way through the northern Rockies, through the Dakotas, up to Minnesota, parts of Wisconsin, I think you're going to be above normal, at least 1 degree or more above normal for that time period above. Let's get into snowfall. Alrighty, here is the snowfall outlook. This is basically from first flake of snow in the season to last flake. There's no month to month here on snowfall outlook, but Pacific Northwest, basically northern Rockies over towards Seattle, Portland, towards the Cascades here, I think you're going to be below normal on snowfall. Okay, as we get towards the south here, basically towards the Sierra Nevadas, down through parts of Arizona, especially the higher elevations, southern Rockies, through New Mexico, most of basically the I-20 corridor and north, and then all the way across parts, especially the northeastern parts of the United States. Anywhere in the blue here, I think you're going to be above normal for snowfall. Okay, so if you are in the blue at all, go Google your town and see how much your normal snowfall is per season, and then you'll know where the normal is, and this is what I think you're going to be above normal. Okay, so there's going to be basically a winter battleground area as well. So this is what's in the red. Okay, I think anywhere in the red here, you're going to have more possibilities of just winter fighting to get in the area. So more opportunities for ice storms, mixed precipitation, sleet, snow. That this corridor is my main concern, basically for ice storms this year. So I do believe you're going to be above normal in this red area as well for snowfall. But as you get further south, you start getting into almost nothing for seasonal averages. So if you're going to be above, let's say you average 1/4 of an inch in some of these southern towns here, I think you're going to be over that for this year. But I think that anywhere in the red, you're going to have more possibilities of ice storms this year. So I try to highlight the area I'm most concerned about, and that is going to be in the red, basically from just south of Oklahoma City to Dallas, parts of northeastern Texas, northern half or so of Louisiana, central to southern Arkansas, basically south of I-40, all the way up towards parts of North Carolina. Now, I do believe the Appalachians up here, especially North Carolina, towards Virginia, West Virginia, they're gonna have a very good season with snow up here. And I showed a picture the other day of parts of the mountains up here towards North Carolina above 5,000 feet. They're already getting snow. I think they're getting 4 to 5 inches. When I was reading about up in that area already a couple days ago. So it's already starting off pretty good up there. So it's more things to come for sure um, for that part of the region. So here's snowfall outlook for this year. Sorry about the long video here. I wanted to explain in depth about where we are, where we're going, and what we're going to look forward to for parts of the region here. So I did issue this written form back in early October. If you want to go back on my Facebook, on our Facebook page, it should be pinned to the top of the page there. You can just go and you can read about it, all the details that we have. But I wanted to make this video so we can show what's like I said, where we're at in regards to basically kind of verifying where we're going with our outlook. All right, so like I said, this was out in early August to supporters, so they always get early looks and everything. They also get long range content, which I'm going to be going over some very interesting long range as we get not one, but possibly two cold fronts through the central and southern parts of the region here, starting late next week into right around Halloween as well, and possible a big snowstorm coming for the Rockies up towards the northern plains as well. And then possibly some snow up here towards the northeast parts of the United States as well. So we'll have all that in the supporter hub and the members only area in on YouTube. And like I said, the supporter hub on Facebook as well. If you want to support us, support the work we do for you, it's $4.99 a month on Facebook. If you're on YouTube, there's several different options the way to support us. We love our supporters, and we do love our public followers as well. So just trying to keep you ahead of what's coming this season. So buckle up. I think this is going to be a fun ride through this winter. All right, thank you all for watching, and we'll be in touch soon.